All right. Hello, everybody. Okay. Here we go. We got one more hopping in. All right. Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. It's an upper body day today. We are going upper body strength and conditioning today. So we're going to get you started with a warm-up. No equipment needed. For the strength exercises themselves, we will need some stuff, including our dumbbells. I'm going to use my set of 8-pounders as well as my bands that are tucked behind there. I will also be using this here chair. The other thing that you can set up and use today is your TRXs, because we're training our upper body and we're going to be working the back muscles. And if you have a TRX, that is probably the best at-home way to train our back. So set it up and we are going to use it. But again, body weight for the warm-up. We're going to start off sticking our arms out to the sides, palms down, drawing these little circles, and they're going to get bigger and bigger until they are as big as they can go. Stick it in one direction. Once we reach that biggest range, we will stop and start to do that the other way. So I'll take those circles big, and they will progressively get smaller and smaller until we're back to these little ones. Once we're done that whole cycle, we'll swing our arms over, alternating under, keeping those palms down, going through 20 of these total, swinging them out, keeping the arms straight, loosening everything up in the shoulders, the upper back, upper body. 20 of these, and then we shall relax our arms down by our sides, and we're going to roll our shoulders while keeping those arms down by the sides 3 times backwards, as big as we can go, and then we shall go 3 times forwards, same big circles, 3 and 3. All right, the next one is down on the floor. So once you're finished those ones, you can come on down here and join me in this all 4 position. We're on the hands and the knees, shoulders right on top of the wrists, hips right on top of the knees. We'll take that one hand, reach it through and under, inhaling here, and then we'll exhale and open up into this thread the needle, trying to follow that hand with your eyeballs, looking up to the ceiling right above you. We'll go through 10 of these on each side. So 10 on this side. Exhaling as we open, seeing if we can maybe get a little bit more open than we're used to. This one's all about waking up and warming up all the muscles in your back, in your mid-back, upper back, as well as your chest and shoulders. We're trying to loosen it up. So we're trying to improve and increase the range of motion every rep. So we'll get that on both sides. Right side, and then we'll switch and move over to the left side, trying to keep it as even as possible. And breathing, and 10, and 10. And once you're done these ones, do not go anywhere because we have one more down on the floor, which is, again, about that upper back. We're going to imagine that a hand is between your shoulder blades right here. Staying in that all-4 position, we will squeeze those shoulders around that hand and then spread them apart away from the hand. 10 reps total, just moving through that upper back. No bending of the elbows. This one can be a little bit weird, especially first thing in the morning. It does require some coordination. So take your time with it. We'll go through 10, and then we are standing back up to the top. Thinking about that same thing that we did down there, we'll be getting ourselves into a bent over position. So we're standing up nice and tall, soft knees. We're going to hinge the hips back by pushing our hips back behind us until we're about at this like 45-degree angle here. Arms in front of us, palms down, a little bit wider than our shoulders. We're going to spread apart those shoulder blades, and then we'll pull in, fist in the hands, trying to squeeze those shoulder blades. That's 1. We'll go through 10 of these total, and having lots of movement in that upper back. So as we reach those fingers away, we're trying to pull those shoulders apart, and then as we fist in the hands, squeeze, we're trying to bring them together. 10 total, and we feel lots of stuff happening in that upper back. That's what we're going for. Waking everything up, activating it, warming it up, getting it ready for our first couple exercises. Once you're done those, you can stand up tall, and we'll go back to these arm swings, because they're going to feel quite good after doing all that stuff to work that upper back. We'll go through 20 of them, same under, over, and then you can grab yourself a quick sip of water if you like, and we are also going to grab onto our band. So first 2 exercises, we're going into some push-ups as we do best on Tuesdays. But before we do that, we are going to grab onto our band. We can use either a long band, I'm pointing over there because my long band's over there, or you can grab 2 loop bands, create a long band, going like this. Handles, no handles, it does not matter, but we want the band to be long so that we can pull it apart into these guys here. We'll be going through 20 reps of these band pull-aparts to start off. So you can join me in these here. Straight arms, we're trying to keep the shoulders relaxed, standing nice and tall. Again, trying to move through your shoulder blades, squeezing them together as we pull that band apart. And then 20 of them. So yes, we can use a little something like this if we have it, okay? Straight arms and 20 reps total. All right. So after you are finished those 20 band pull-aparts, we are going to get you started on your first official set of our push-ups. So today is the day where we're doing nothing fancy in our push-ups. We're just focusing on doing as many as we can. So that is going to look different for all of us, most of us. Some of us are able to do 5, maybe 6. Others might be able to do 15, maybe 20. So it really depends on you, how many you are going to do. I'm going to set us a timer for 10 minutes, and it's already started. I'm going to press start right now. In the next 10 minutes, you are going to complete as many sets as you can of these push-ups. Again, working with your top range or top end of the reps. So we're doing as many as we can, which we are going to find out how many that is right now in our first set. So come on down here into your push-up position. Get started on your first set. We want as many as you can before we go to complete failure, okay? So I don't want you going until you physically cannot push up anymore. Maybe save 1 or 2 reps. Keep them in a tank, okay, as we go through our sets. And again, it could be 1, okay? It could be 2, it could be 5. It doesn't really matter what your number is. It doesn't have to be even or odd. It doesn't matter. But we're going to see how many we can get, okay? So let's do it. Going through as many reps as possible, okay? Full body push-ups. So if you're someone who is still, working on our lower numbers of push-ups, 1 is great, okay, or 2. Full body ones, maybe that is something that's extremely uncomfortable for you. You don't do it often. Today is your opportunity to practice that, all right? Whereas again, some of us might be up in that 12, 15, maybe even like 18, 20 range of these push-ups. I'm not going to join you with 20 push-ups, but some of us might need to get up there to really challenge ourselves. And it just depends on us and our bodies and all of that. Once we're finished our set, remember how many you got, all right? You can stand up, take a couple deep breaths, grab some water, okay? We are going to go through another however many rounds we can get. We have 8.5 minutes left. So we'll take some rest, about 30 to 45 seconds once we're finished that set of push-ups. Breathing, okay, we're drinking water. Once we feel ready to go into our next set, or ready or not, in the next about 45 seconds, we're going to go into our second set here, back to these band pulls, working with that same rep range, or rep number of 20. So we'll go through 20 of these, pulling that band apart. And when we're doing this one, we want to stop before we see that band go all wet noodle like this. We want to keep it tight. We also want to stop before we hit our chest so that we're not coming across and making contact. So we'll work with that range, 20 of them, getting all of the stuff, working in the back of our shoulders, our upper back. All right. And then once we finish those pulls, there we go again on our next set of push-ups. It is crucial that you get the same number every single set, okay? That's why I say believe maybe a rep or 2 in the tank still. I'm not going to complete failure, because if we do that, and if you push up that you literally cannot push up and you actually go back down, then when we go to do another set, we're going to not be able to get that same number of reps, okay? And that's important here, is that you're meeting that same number. So let's get back down there, okay? Maybe just take a couple seconds here to breathe, get yourself mentally prepared for push-ups. And sometimes that's what we need, is just thinking that we can do it. Get back down there, and we're going to go through our second set. Okay, as many as you can. Trying to do the same thing you did on our first round, on our first set. So we'll get anywhere between maybe 3 to 5, maybe even 6 sets. If you're working with a lower number of push-ups, you are definitely going to get more sets in. Because if we're doing like 2 or 3 push-ups every set, it takes us a lot less time than someone who's doing 15 or even 10 push-ups per set. And so that means they can just simply get more rounds in, more sets of these. All right, so we'll get those in, stand ourselves up, we'll shake it out, okay? Do some of these arm swings between our sets, loosen us up, grab some water, take some deep breaths, all right? And then we have most likely about 2, maybe 3 more sets, okay? Because we have 5.5 minutes left to do your thing in these push-ups. All right. So take the rest. Okay, and this rest is here. These band pull-aparts and the push-ups, they're not necessarily working the same muscles, but the back of the shoulders, what we're working in these band pulls, these guys here, those guys assist everything that's happening in your push-up. That's why we're doing these ones first, a set of these band pulls, to get everything back there really awake and activated before we go into that set of push-ups. We've talked about this before, and I'll remind you because you have some time with it. We have just under 5 minutes left. When we are doing our push-ups, what we want to think about, not necessarily just pushing ourselves off the floor, although that is a very important part of the push-up, but there is something happening in our upper back as well. We practiced it a lot in the warm-up through that scapular retraction and that sort of row motion that we did. That shoulder blades together and apart situation is happening in our push-ups. It should happen in our push-ups. So it's something that you can think about, especially if you're someone who really struggles with getting and doing push-ups and or getting better and improving your number of how many that you can do. This helps. So as we go through our set, on the way down as we lower, you can think about pulling your shoulder blades together. And then at the bottom, as we push ourselves off the floor, we're also trying to sort of spread our shoulder blades apart. And that's going to use that upper back to help you push yourself up off the floor. Oftentimes, it will actually kind of make the set feel harder because we're using those muscles back there, okay? Where sometimes we can kind of leave them behind, and then we kind of do this. The shoulders roll forward. First of all, not very safe on the shoulder in that position there, but also not very strong, okay, compared to us pulling our shoulder blades together. So 3.5 minutes, my friends. Let's get it, okay? Maybe 2 more sets of these push-ups, and then we are moving on, and it is all of the push-ups right here, right now, today. I can't say all of them this week, but this is all of the push-ups we're doing today. Woohoo! Like that makes a difference. Maybe. All right, plug us in. Okay. All right, so we'll finish up that set and make sure to rest between these rounds. If you are finding that you cannot get your number, the one that you got in the first set, in the second set, take a little bit more rest. Okay, add another 15 to 30 seconds on to your rest period, and that might make it more possible for you down there to get that number of push-ups. Okay, just over 2 minutes left. There we go. So we'll get through the set. Resting. Okay, we have 1 more round. Maybe 2. We are lower numbers. And then we are done. And there you are. Okay, so we're remembering to use our exhale, especially on these last couple sets, okay, because we're feeling a lot heavier as we go through these push-ups. That exhale, that breathing out is your power, especially in this kind of thing. And it's actually quite simple to think about. When you push out, when you breathe out, you push yourself off the floor. So we'll think about that here on our last couple sets, as we might need it to get through these last couple sets of push-ups. Maybe 1, maybe 2. Okay, we have a minute and a half to do our thing on these guys. Perfect. There we go. Okay, so pace yourself here. You have just over 60 seconds left in the push-ups. Getting them done right here. Hopefully we're feeling stronger after what we did last day, those lower numbers. All right, so we'll take the next 45 seconds here to finish up this set. Maybe start one more set, depending on where we are. Time with it. And then we are going to move on to the next part. All right. Okay, so we have about 20 seconds left. I am going to turn off this timer. Okay, done in 15 seconds. So wherever you are right now, I want you to finish up that set. Okay, if you're in the middle of your band pulls, do them. Okay, you can even do a set of push-ups if you would like to. You have time to, okay, because I'm going to use the next minute here to let you rest a little bit, grab some water, shake it out. Okay, think about the fact that you're done the push-ups today. Woo! Hopefully you feel stronger in them. That is the goal. We are going to move on to the next part, which is 2 exercises done in a superset. And where are we? Perfect. We are going to need this heel chair. I'm going to be combining a 1-arm row with a bench, or in this case, chair dip. So the 1-arm row, we have lots of ways that we can do this. The first way is using that bench, that chair, and a set of dumbbells or 1 dumbbell with the support of the knee, the hand, we have the dumbbell or maybe the band in our hand, and we pull in. So this is option number 1. TRXs, if you have them, if you would like to use them for this part here, we can do that 1-arm TRX row. We're keeping this row very standard today. Palm is going to be facing inward, and all we're doing is pulling into this sort of neutral grip position, slightly wider than our ribs. We don't want that arm tucking into the rib cage like so. And we will be going through 12 to 15 reps on each side. So we have a range going on here. We can do 12, we can go up to 15. Really depends on what weight we're using, in which case you are using something that is a little bit light. If there's a way that you can make 12 feel challenging, I would prefer you to do 12 over 15, okay? But if your weight is a little bit on the lighter side, and no matter what you do, you need those extra 3 reps to really feel your back muscles, then we're going up to 15, okay? But we're gonna start our first set here. Okay, we want our back nice and flat. My leg is down, I have my knee in my hand here, and that's all to support my core. If you don't have a chair or a bench, you can do the same bent over position and just take this hand, put it on that opposite knee, and then hold that weight and row it in like this, okay? And we'll start our first set. So 12 to 15, pulling into that in neutral grip position. We want that shoulder coming behind the ear and 90 degrees in the elbow. We need to do a little shoulder check, okay, to make sure that we don't have our chicken wing elbow. We want the elbow in line with the body and make sure that the shoulder gets pulled way back behind the ear. So 12 to 15, okay? First set, let's do it. Other ways that we can row, anchored bands. Okay, so if you have a way to anchor a band in front of you, we can attach that band, and then same hand on the leg, go through that 1-arm row. Okay, 12 to 15. All right, so this is the first part of this superset. I already gave you a little pre-warning about the second part, which is that bench dip. So whatever number of rows that you did, 12 to 15, we are going to do the same amount of dips, okay? So sitting on your chair, your bench, your ottoman, whatever you're using, we want to bring our hands kind of sit on our thumbs so that our arms and hands are quite narrow. And then our wrist is right on the edge of that chair, of that bench. Okay, we don't want it way back here, as that puts a lot of pressure and stress on the wrist, which is not what we want. So we'll really tuck it out to the side here. Lower those hips off. We're going down to 90, and then pushing ourselves up and straight, trying the whole time to again keep our shoulder blades together behind us. We don't want them rolling forward like this, but rather pull them back behind us like this. Straighter legs is harder, bent legs is easier. So find that sweet spot. That's not so sweet spot. It really makes you feel like you're challenged. Okay, whatever number you've got on the rows, you're doing here. And then we are repeating. Okay, no rest here today. Right now, we're just going back to back between these two. 3 more sets to make it 4 rounds total, taking no time. Okay, maybe a quick sip of water, maybe a couple quick deep breaths. Swing out those arms, that's okay. But there's no prescribed 30 to 45 seconds as we have sometimes. Maybe in the next part we'll have it, maybe not, we'll see. But once we're finished those dips, we'll go right into our next set of the rows. So quickly, I want to talk about what you do if you don't have a chair for the dips, because you cannot do the dips without a chair. You have options. We can do our wall tricep extension. This guy here, over like this. Okay, this is going to be same muscles worked, triceps. Okay, not quite the same work in the shoulders and the chest as we get on the dips, but it is an option for those of you who don't necessarily have other equipment. The other thing that we can do is an actual tricep extension lying on our back. So if you have dumbbells or a dumbbell, we can lay down like this, down to 90 degrees, and then push ourselves up like this. Okay, and go through your 12 to 15, those ones. Okay, so those are options for those of you who don't have a bench, don't have a chair. It's cool, okay, because you probably have dumbbells. And if you don't, you definitely have a wall. So you can do that wall tricep one. Okay, so we'll get through the second set. Woohoo! Of these ones. Perfect. All right. Rows and dips. Turn this aside a little bit. All right. So the back muscles, they are quite strong muscles. We're trying to work these big back muscles that run down the sides of our back. So if you're not feeling it there, something that we can think about is that 90 degrees, which really comes down to this movement in your shoulder. Okay, if that movement in the shoulder is not happening, then we're going to be doing this. All right, and this is not working your back. You're going to feel your arm, you'll feel your forearm, you might feel your shoulder. Okay, but it doesn't look good, it doesn't feel good, and we're not getting the benefit for your back muscles, which are what we're trying to work here. Okay, that's the ones that help us promote good posture and overall just tighten up our back, okay, which is what we want. So as we go through this, and we have to think about it, most likely is trying to really pull that shoulder back and squeeze back there. Again, I prefer a really challenging 12 over 15 if you can make that happen. And maybe some pauses might make it feel like 12 is a good place to be. Okay, so you can hold it in here and give yourself maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 seconds to really think about what you're feeling back there. And overall, we'll get more out of that, okay, if we feel what's going on. So we'll get through our next set. We have 4 total. And then, okay, so same idea on these dips. We do not want to feel like we could keep going after that certain amount of reps, okay? So play around with how straight or how bent your legs are. It makes a huge difference. Recently, we've been talking about how to make these harder. Okay, once you can do them with straight legs, and you can do, 15 plus, no problemo, what do? You will elevate your feet. So in this case, I would grab a second chair or a small stool or something, and I would put it on the floor right there, and then I put my feet on top of it, which is going to lift up my feet and overall just put more weight and gravity on that upper body for the dips, all right? So if you're someone who's kind of feeling like you're getting really strong at things, Maybe getting a little easy, even 15 is like, okay, I can keep going, what's next? Then I want you to try that, okay? You can try it on your next set. Try it maybe next day, next time we do these dips. Remember, maybe I'll remind you. But that foot elevation really does crank it up a notch. You don't need a big elevation. Stool, a stair, another chair, anything like that will do. Okay, so we're going to take about 3, maybe 4 more minutes to finish up this part. Okay, and then we have one more part to our upper body strength, which is a tricep. 3 exercises, and then it is time for our conditioning. That gets us all hot and heavy, releases those endorphins. It makes us feel good for the rest of the day. Woohoo! Just kidding, it all makes us feel good for the rest of the day. Yes. Okay, so we'll take about 3 more minutes to get this in. Let's do it. Okay, so strong finish. Feeling the back. Trying to eliminate rest, which is sometimes challenging, especially when we're combining 2 upper body exercises. You can do it. Okay, 1 more round. Your final set. Take about 2 more minutes to get it in. Awesome. Okay. So we'll finish up our final set of rows, final set of dips. We have 1 more minute to do so. As we are coming to an end, you can grab some water. We will need all of these things. Okay, so do not put them away quite yet, because we're going to need them for the last part. We'll need the chair. We actually are not going to use it for the last part of the strength, but we will need it again for our conditioning. So we have an exercise that uses that bench or that chair, so don't put it too far away. All right, we should be close, if not there. Moving on to the final part of our strength, upper body strength. We have 3 exercises. We're going to do them circuit style, although we do have a little bit of rest, but only at the very end, once we're done all 3 of these. So starting off with the first one, we're going to need those dumbbells. We're going to stand up nice and tall, doing a rear delt fly. So first thing we want to do is stand up, nice posture, hip width apart in the feet, soft knees. We'll push those hips back behind us. We're in this nice bent over hinged position, palms facing each other, and then straight arms. We're going to open up into this rear delt fly, going through 10 reps total. So we want a relatively light dumbbell. If you're working with dumbbells that are maybe a little bit too heavy, there's a little hack we can do by pulling in slightly and then doing it with slightly bent arms like this, and it's going to make it feel easier. The weights aren't as far away. Okay, ideally we want straight arms, but I mean, I get it. Some of us are literally stuck with like 1 set of dumbbells. And some of us don't have dumbbells at all. So if you're using a band, as I literally tie this one on here by accident, we can do the same thing, bent over, going through band pull apart, okay, in this bent over position. Going through our 10 reps total for this first one. Never nuts. Okay, so second one, wide grip rows. If you have a TRX, now's your time to shine, to go on your TRX for these wide grip rows. I'm going to use my dumbbells because I don't have a TRX. Okay, we're staying in that same position. You can almost just stay down here, but we're going to turn the palms so that they're facing the thighs, and they're a little bit wider than our shoulders to start. We'll pull up and wide into this 90-degree position, going through 12 of these total. Elbows to the ceiling, 90 degrees. You can do a little shoulder check. We want to make sure that your elbow's sitting right above the wrist. Okay, we don't have any bending in the wrist happening. Kind of sitting down there like this, targeting again the back of the shoulders is where we're going to feel it. So we'll pull in and wide. Same thing applies if you're using the band. Woo! So bent over, and we go like this. Okay, we can also anchor that band underneath our feet. We're using a long band. like so. Okay, and then we'll go through our 12 reps total of that one there. There you are. Very nice. Okay, so the last one is down on the floor, and it's going to be a chest press. So we're going to lay on our back here, bring our dumbbells with us. If you don't have a set of dumbbells, I want you to grab something. Okay, your water bottle, some form of household item, a towel, be a book. It can even just be both your hands, okay, because that works. But having an object will help. I'll show you why. We're laying on our back here. We're going to take our two dumbbells and squeeze them together, going down into a chest press. Wrists are right in line with the bra line, and then we'll push ourselves up, going through 15 reps, squeezing these dumbbells together as hard as we can. So if you're working with a rounded set of dumbbells, this can be a little bit scary because sometimes it will like slip off and you can pinch your fingers, and I've done it, it's not fun. So what you can always do is put a dumbbell down, work with one with your hands on each side like this, and then we can go through that press. It's going to be a lot safer if your dumbbells are not hex like this, but they're round, okay, or any other shape. So that's something that you can try. And again, we can always just put something else, like a water bottle or a book, okay, maybe a heavy book, an encyclopedia or something, and then we can go through our 15 reps of those presses. Okay, so now, once we're finished that, we're going to take that 30 to 45 seconds, feeling all the things in the upper body. We'll grab some water. Again, shake out those arms, roll out your shoulders, do whatever you want to do for that 30 to 45, and then we are repeating, okay? We have 3 more of these 3 movements. Starting back off with that first one, okay? 10 reps for the first, 12 reps for the second, and then 15 reps for that third one, that lying chest press. All right. Okay, so we'll rest, and then we will get going on our second set. Nice setup, soft knees, hips back, and let's do it. Okay, 10 here for this first one, and then we'll do that quick transition right into that second one if you're using the dumbbells. Okay, again, if you're using the TRX, same rules apply with where those elbows are going. You can check yourself, make sure that you have that positioning, because it makes a difference. The arms are down here, they're here. We're not getting the same work in the back of the shoulders, which is what we're trying to work here. So we do want to make sure that we have that sort of T positioning in our arms, and then the 90 degrees in those elbows. All right. We don't have mirrors, so sometimes it's hard to see. That's why I say sometimes you just do a little check, okay? Because you'll be able to see if your wrists are bending weird, okay? If your elbow's like way back here, but that's not right. So then you can kind of straighten that out and correct yourself. Okay. And sometimes those corrections feel a lot harder, but that's because we're working the right stuff. All right, so we'll get down to our chest press. 15 of them. Pressure chest press, okay? So same thing we talk about with that dead bug we do, where we try to generate that pressure between the hand and the knee. This one, we're trying to create that pressure between our hands. The more you can squeeze your hands, the more we're going to involve everything through our chest muscles, which is what we're working on this one. We also get a little bit of work in those triceps, because we're keeping the elbows tucked into the body. So we'll make sure that that's happening. Tight hands, all right? Again, if I was to come through that screen, try to pull those dumbbells and pull those hands apart and take whatever you're holding, that would not happen, okay? Because you are rock solid. You are holding it with all of your might as you go through your 15 reps. All right, so 2 more rounds, and then we are moving on to the last part. Awesome. Okay, let's get it. So we'll take a bit of rest. Up the body. Lots of focus on the rear delts, the back of the shoulders here. Okay, so we're feeling all that, the upper back. Take the rest, okay? And then we shall go into our third set, our second last set. So 2 more to go before we get the conditioning. Woohoo! All right, so we'll take our time, normal tempo in all of these ones. Okay, it's like, you can see out the window, it's so icy and this FedEx truck is like sliding. My car's right there. We're good though. We are good. Not the first time that's happened in this cold set. All right, so let's work through this third set. Okay, take your time with it. We have time, about 5 minutes until we even need to think about talking about the final part of the conditioning. Okay, so lots of time here. So much so that you can even slow it down a little bit on your last set and maybe add in some of those pauses that I'm always suggesting and talking about, especially on our rows, okay? When we're going through these ones most likely are going to be challenging enough as we go through our 10 with those straight arms. Of course, we can spend a little bit more time here at the top if you're working with a band, or if you have some little cute light dumbbells like some 3s or some 5s or something like that. You might want to just hold here and pull the shoulders together and go through your 10, okay, making it a little harder on our last set. Same thing on the rows, okay, you can do either or, both if you want. Going through your 12, you can pause at the top there. All right. Okay. Strong finish, my friends. Okay, so you're gonna take the rest. Finish that chest press. You can just sit there on the floor, ponder your life for about 30 seconds. Grab a sip of water, okay, and then we'll get back up and we will complete our final round, set number 4. So we have about 2 minutes to finish up here, which is pretty much just enough time for you to do one more set, okay? So if you're still resting, take your last deep breath, get up here, and let's finish up with our final round, okay? These 3, 4 on upper body. Okay. So, last part here. Woohoo! Of the strength. So we'll finish up. We've got 1 more minute to do our thing. Perfect. Next work, you guys. So we'll finish up those chest presses. While you are doing that, I'm going to set our timer for our last part. Yay. Interval timer. Always nice. You don't have to count. You just have to work. Once you're finished this part here, this last set of your chest presses, you can set up. Once again, grab yourself some water. Rest for the last time for your strength. And get yourself ready for the last part, which is all about our cardio. So I'm going to set this timer here while you guys get set up. And perfect. Great. Okay, so last part we are going to do. It's going to take us 16 minutes to get through. So we're set on this timer, which I have set here, for 60 seconds on. You can't see it anyways. 1 minute on and 20 seconds off. So we're going to be doing each exercise. There are 3 of them for 1 minute, and then we'll be taking 20 seconds of rest before we move on to the next one. And then we have 3 rounds total, okay? So nice and short compared to some of them. Sometimes we go up to maybe 5 or 6 rounds. Today is just 3, so it's very important that we push ourselves really hard, even on this first one, because you'll only have 3 chances to go through the circuit. So what we're going to do is talk about our first exercise, which is a double-sided exercise. We're going to be doing 30 seconds on one side and then 30 seconds on the other side, okay? You'll need your bench or your chair for this one, as we are going to do a forearm plank on that bench chair with a row. So I'm going to take this dumbbell and I'll be rowing in like this on one side for 30 seconds. I will tell you when to switch, okay? And then we'll switch and we'll be rowing in on the other side for the remaining 30 seconds. So those of you who do not have a chair, a bench, or maybe it's just not the most stable to do this on, you can do this on the floor, okay? I like the chair, the bench, because we're on the forearm. We're not going on the wrist, but this works if you don't have that as an option, okay? So we can go down here like this, and then we can work through, again, our rows, 30 seconds over here, and then we'll switch and do 30 seconds on the other side. So this is going to be our first one, okay? You'll need this kind of stuff set up. If you're working with bands, you can keep those close, as I will have some options for those as well. Let's get started on this one. I will show you the other ones on that timer, okay? And then we are going through this. So we have 4 exercises. I think I said 3. There's 4. But there's only... Okay, so let's start on this one. We'll have 20 seconds for me to explain the other one, and then we'll do the same thing for the remaining 2. Are you ready? As ready as you're ever going to be. Okay, starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. First set, first round. Now, those of you who don't have dumbbells, we can do the same thing with nothing in our hand. Okay, we can just plank position and just hold that air and row in, trying to keep our hips from tilting, from shifting to the side. We want to keep them squared off towards the floor. Okay, so we're working with this one side. Take a couple more right here and switch sides. Okay, so put the dumbbell down, switch it over to the other side, and right away, no rest, start rowing in on that other side. Okay, 20 more seconds left. Yeah. There you go. Breathing through these, exhaling when we pull in that dumbbell. Let's do it. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and time. Okay, so dumbbells aside, we want to make sure that they are out of the way. If you have this chair, this bench, we're going to need it for the next one, as we are going to be sitting down on it like this, and then jumping as high as we can off of it. Coming all the way down and sitting between every single rep. Okay, let's go. Let's do it. So if you don't jump, you can work with simply just a squat. You can even come up onto your toes like this, okay? But ideally, I do want you to jump, landing soft, making full contact with that chair, that bench. Of course, if you don't have a chair, the bench, you're just simply doing a squat jump, okay? And you don't have that opportunity to kind of sit down between each rep, which is kind of nice, right? Keep it working here. 30 more seconds left on this one. I mean, it's going to seem like quite a long time after the other one, where we kind of get to switch halfway. But 20 more seconds. Try to exhale, jump yourself up, and breathe through these. The burning legs, a little bit left over from yesterday. Oh yeah. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, nice work. Next one, very simple. We're working with our toe taps. So I'm going to just use the leg of this chair, and I shall be tapping my toes like this, moving my arms, going through that full set of a minute. You can use anything, a spot on the floor, your wall. I won't choose the wall though, but you can go like this. Okay, if you're low impact, we're trying to work with a quick step in our feet, or you can sub in for a knee to elbow. If you don't jump, this one is most likely going to get your heart rate up a bit more effectively than just kind of tapping your toes, okay? Unless you jump, then this is a great place to be. 35 seconds left. Pace yourself so that you don't have to stop. Maybe this one's the easiest one. all of them? I think so. Definitely not a leg burner. Okay, we're not in that plank position, so enjoy this one. Is what I'm trying to say. 20 more seconds left. But we're still getting the heart rate up, so hopefully you're feeling that. Probably still feeling like we want to stop, okay? But 10 more seconds, we'll keep going here. Arms and the legs. 3, 2, 1. Okay, the last one we're going to do lunge jumps with a big old pulse in between every one. So you'll need some space. In this lunging position, we go down. We're going to switch, come up, back down, and then switch. All right, let's go. Leg burners, we're back. So we switch. We'll try to use those opposite arms all the way up into the pulse, back down, and then switch legs. Okay, if you don't jump, we're simply going to step forward and switch at the front without jumping. All right? Oh, yes. Okay, so we're working through this one. So yeah, your legs are probably feeling from yesterday. This is going to help loosen them up. We can also modify this one to make it less leggy if you need to, by not going through such a low lunge, but rather kind of staying up here, switching, and then just kind of working at a higher range rather than going all the way down, okay? So sometimes the legs don't want to do anything, especially after we trained them yesterday. So we have options and time. Okay, so that was us in the first set. We're going to do it again. 2 more rounds, and we are done. Okay, so back to the first one. We're doing that plank row, starting in 5 seconds. So we'll get ourselves ready, and set, and let's go. Okay, so again, working through 30 seconds on this side. And I'll tell you when to switch, but not yet, okay? Keep working through. So again, most important thing is that your hips are staying stable. We're not tilting and shifting and opening up as we go through the row. So yes, we're getting some sneaky core work in here. Give me 1 more on this side and switch sides, okay? Put the dumbbell, switch it over, and go right away. No resting. Maybe the 20 seconds soon, but not yet. We'll keep working through this one. Okay, strong hips. We need to make it a little bit easier. Widening up the feet will make it more possible to keep your hips doing that little tilting action. Last one. 3, 2, 1, and done. Nice work. Okay, so we're going to move on to our second one, our seated squat jumps. All right, are you ready for this? Ready as whatever can be. Okay, so we'll sit down, take a breath. Inhale, and then again we'll exhale, and we'll jump ourselves off, trying to land soft. Okay, so we're not, stomping the ground, landing soft, catching yourself, making little to no noise as you land. And pace yourself, okay? This one really will creep up to you. If you go super fast, super strong at the beginning, you might struggle to maintain that the whole time. So keep in mind at any point, if you need to just kind of take a second, you're sitting. So you can just sit here, maybe take a full breath cycle right here, and keep going, all right? What we want to avoid is this lifting of the feet to kind of use that rocking momentum. And it happens naturally. Your dang body is always trying to cheat and make things easier, and that's completely normal. And that's something that it will do on this one, is that little lifting up. So we'll make sure to keep the feet planted when we're not jumping. 3, 2, 1, time. Okay, great work. You only have to do that 1 more time. Toe taps. Toe taps. Okay, again, potentially the easiest one. Finding that object to tap your toes on, whether it's your chair, your wall, you can use a dumbbell like this. Are you ready? It's set. All right, let's go. So stay light on those feet. We're trying to slightly sort of lean back and tap our toes forward in front of us. We know that split jump that we do very often is much more centered. This one's a little bit more backward with that forward reach on the toes. So we'll try to find that positioning. And again, move our arms and our legs together so that the arms aren't just kind of hanging out beside us, but they're actually moving together with opposite leg. Halfway. Pace yourself. Remember, this is the easiest one. Still not easy. Okay, we're still feeling this one. And the lungs and the heart rate up. That's what we're trying to go for. So we'll try to work a little bit faster maybe. Get ourselves feeling that uncomfortable, I need to stop feeling. 5 more seconds here. Keep it going. 3, 2, 1. Time. Great work. Okay. Woo. Lunges. Lunges. Okay, so we'll take a deep breath. Get ourselves into that lunging position to start. And high up on that back toe, we want to push onto the toe, down into the lunge. We switch all the way up to the top. Okay, we don't want to necessarily lock out our leg, but we want to make sure we're coming all the way up so that it is almost straight before we go back down. And then switch. Let's go. There you are. Okay. 30 seconds left. One more set, and then we are finished. Perfect timing. Okay, 20 more seconds. We got this. There you go. Pace yourself. A couple more. Like one more on each side. Other side now. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. And yes. All right. Woohoo! So that was our second set done. We have one more to make it 3, and then we are all done for the day. So that is good news. Okay, we do have to go through this one more set. It's most likely going to be the hardest set. It's most tired right now, but let's go. Okay, plank rows. You started. Here we go. Working with this final set. Okay, again, strongest set yet. For the most tired, so we're going to have to work a little bit harder to do the same thing that we did on those past few sets, past couple, I should say. Okay, 10 more seconds right here. You have 2 more. Strong rows. Tighten up the hips. 1 more on this side, and switch sides. So we'll switch that dumbbell over. Let's go. Switch those arms. Come on, last set. Tightening up your hips. Something that helps is thinking about straightening the legs or squeezing the thighs. You can also kind of activate the glutes, squeezing the butt. 15 more seconds. Whatever helps, right, to get through this. Here we go. Okay, 1 more. 3, 2, 1, and time. Amazing. Okay, we'll put that dumbbell aside. Woohoo. Get ourselves ready for these squat jumps, these seated squat jumps. The seated part is our saving grace. So if you don't have a chair or a bench, well then you don't know. You're just doing the squat jumps, that's okay. Let's go. Okay, last set. So we'll try to again land soft. Okay, breathe as we go through these. Exhale, try to get our body as straight as possible at the top. And pace ourselves, okay, because I do not want you to stop for 35 more seconds. Can we do this? Yes, we can. Okay, so definitely the next 15 seconds, try to just pace yourself. You take it a little slower if you need to, if you feel like you're not going to make it. Okay. Last 15 seconds right now. Let's go. Try to pick it up a bit. This is it. If you're saving any, try to use all that energy on these squat jumps right now, right here, a little bit higher, a little bit faster. 3, 2, 1, and we are done those. Toe taps, lunges. Okay, 10 seconds, deep breaths. Getting ready to tap our toes. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Okay, toe tapping ourselves through this final set. Last 2 exercises, pacing ourselves. Okay, we're also pushing ourselves. This one can be really easy, right? Especially, for those of us who do like a decent amount of cardio. This one, you really do have to push yourself, okay? So try to, again, get those arms moving. Simply just move your feet so fast, you actually have to think about it, okay? You have to push yourself and purposely, intentionally move quickly, okay? We're not just kind of going along slowly. I want you to move faster, arms and legs together, okay? Intentional reps, 15 seconds left. Everything's happening for a reason. From your feet to your hands. Let's go. 10 seconds, okay? This is it on this one. Come on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and toe taps. Nice work. Hopefully that did not feel easy. Okay, we got this last one. Maybe the hardest one. It burns the legs, okay? But again, you need to kind of not sit so low. That's okay. But this is the last set. Lunge position. Starting in 3, 2, 1. And here we go. Okay, so last set. Okay, then catching ourselves soft, trying to work through that full range on those lunges. For the conditioning, for all of it. All right, 30 more seconds, and you will be there. You're done. Walking it off for the very last time. So let's pace ourselves here so that we can keep working 20 more seconds, okay? Nobody stopping, no giving up. Whatever you're doing right now, let's keep doing it, okay? If you're not doing anything, let's go. 15 seconds left, at least working with some form of a lunge. Let's do it, okay? 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and time. Okay, so you, my friend, are done. I'm putting on a timer right now for 2 minutes, where all I want you to do is rest, okay? So we're walking, we're breathing, we're trying to catch our breath, okay? Bring ourselves back to that normal level where we can hold down a conversation or answer a question if we were asked one. You're most likely feeling pretty hot and heavy right now and unable to do that. So we're taking this time to rest, recover. Deep breaths, okay? Not those shallow chest breaths. We're trying to take the deep breaths into our belly. Now, those are the ones that are going to help us calm down and overall just bring our heart rate down more effectively. Okay, walking around helps. Drinking water helps. So do all those things. While you do that, I'm going to talk about your stretching, okay, which we are going to leave you with today. We're not going to do it together, but it's very simple. We have to stretch upper body, okay, chest and shoulders. Crucial that you do this. Door frame, or in my case, corner of the room, is the most effective way, okay, because we can do both sides at once. So find yourself a door frame, okay, or something like this, a corner. If you don't have any of the above, you can always do one side at a time. And you can also do this one sort of while you're still cooling down. If you can reach back here like this, some of us might be a little bit tight. And then we can start to add in this stretch while we're still kind of cooling and calming, because you still might be doing that. Okay, there's 40 seconds left on that 2 minutes. Some of us might need that time to kind of bring it down a notch. So that's the first one, chest and shoulders. Second and last one, I should say, is for your back. I'm going to use this bookcase right here, grabbing onto each side of it, and then just rocking my hips back behind me, falling back, opening up my back muscles on both sides. Okay, so we can use a door handle. You can use your TRX if you have that guy set up. If you need to do one side at a time, that one works as well. You can just go one side. You don't have 2 sides to hang on to, okay? And on the other side, we'll hold these stretches for about 60 seconds. All right. So hopefully you're feeling a little cool, calm, a little bit more collected. You can do those stretches there. Again, 60 seconds. Okay, if you are someone who's wanting to improve your posture, more than one set is going to help you do that. Okay, so you can hold 60 seconds on your chest, 60 seconds on the back, and you get your timer out if you're serious about this. And you can repeat anywhere between 2, 3, maybe even 4 sets of those 2 stretches if you would like to make time right now. Okay, but you guys, are done with me. Hopefully you feel good. Thank you so much to Tanis for hanging out with me in the Zoom room. I'll see you guys tomorrow for our full body conditioning day. Hopefully you will be able to make it. And if not, I will hopefully catch you guys on the replay. Thank you so much and have a great day. And of course, if you are watching the replay, please drop a comment below so I know you were here, so that I know you did this, and I can yay for you from a distance. Okay, good luck, you guys.